and we're glad to be here. Thank you guys for coming out. I say we get the show started. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Robert Langdon for making this event happen here in Healdton tonight. How we doing, folks? That is great to hear, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Diamond Jim Southern. I will be your announcer this evening. Also bringing the broadcast table, ladies and gentlemen, the Velvet Voice, Walker Stewart. We will be broadcasting this evening, bringing you all the action. You know, I was in Healdton about 6 years ago for an event, and I have got to say, Healdton was one of the loudest crowds I have ever been in front of. So how about we keep that tradition alive tonight? Hey, y'all make some noise! That's what we're up here. You guys ready to get things started? Now, wait any further in the following contest. This is the Bulldog.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Velvet Voice, Walker Stewart. I'm going to be joined by Diamond Jim James Southern in just one moment on the broadcast booth tonight. We have a bombastic, a jammed-packed edition of Texoma Pro Wrestling action, and it's happening live here, our first time in a new town, new equipment. It is a new era in Texoma Pro Wrestling, Healdton, Oklahoma. Lay eyes to the leader of the Mercist regime, the Mercist himself. Merc is in the building, and he is going to be taking on a beloved fan favorite here tonight in Texoma Pro Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wobble makes his way down to ringside tonight. As I said earlier on, a fan favorite here tonight in Texoma Pro Wrestling. The Healdton, Oklahoma faithful is very receptive to the words of the creator of the Wobble line dance. Mr. Wobble is happy to be here. And ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to be alongside Diamond Jim James Southern. James, how is it going, my friend?
It is a phenomenal night here in Healdton. This crowd is fired up. Mr. Wobble's fired up. I think Merc is as fired up as he can be, but this contest is really gonna get things started off with a bang.
Well, it definitely will, Diamond Jim, and I gotta tell you, the leader of the Mercist regime, this man, I mean, it's one of the core tenets of Mercism here, James. Mercism is all about cutting down on the comedic stylings in professional wrestling. He is a serious professional wrestler. That's what he proclaims himself to be, as well as all of the other Mercists here in Healdton, Oklahoma. And ladies and gentlemen, the bell has sounded. This match is underway. A clash of styles, if there ever was one, James. Mr. Wobble taking on Merc here live to kick off Texoma Pro Wrestling Bulldog Beatdown.
Truly a yin and yang there, a black and white, and not just on Mr. Wobble's gear, but truly a contrast of styles, as you mentioned. It'll be interesting to see. Wobble likes to have a good time, as you see him doing a little wobble there for the crowd.
this is something that we've seen this countless times here, James. I mean, you've been subjected to it. Mr. Wobble likes to see people in his matches wobble.
He likes the wobble. You know, you create something, it's near, it's dear to your heart. You want to see others share that joy. But no joy. Calling Mr. Wobble a clown here.
Well, the battle lines have been drawn here tonight in Healdton. And ladies and gentlemen, a collar and elbow tie-up here now. Transition straight into the wrist lock there for Merc. Taking control of the arm. Now, who do you believe has the advantage in this competition? I mean, there's a lot of differences between Mr. Wobble and Merc as these two men battle back and forth, James.
You've got to give Merc the edge when it comes to technical grappling, to the art of wrestling, as it were. But you've got to think that Wobble's coming in here. He's relaxed. He's having a good time. His mind isn't as much focused on this contest, and that could be a blessing or a curse for him. We'll have to see how things work out for Wobble.
Absolutely. And Merc, he has the offensive here on Mr. Wobble now, transitioning out of that submission maneuver. Just slightly embarrassing moment there for Merc here, James.
Just letting him know he was there with a little love tap from Mr. Wobble.
That's not exactly politically correct there, James. That's Merc and Mr. Wobble now.
Would you care to provide me with the politically correct term for oil check, Walker?
Well, I don't really believe that that's my discretion here, James, but nevertheless, interlocking of the fingers here now, a test of strength between Merc and Mr. Wobble.
Classic Greco-Roman knuckle lock being applied here, a test of strength between these two.
Absolutely, and Merc with a serious power advantage here. Mr. Wobble, though, trying to find himself back to a vertical base, which he does, and he always gets the job done at the end of the day. Mr. Wobble showing Merc just exactly how the wobble is done.
Wobble now in control here, taking advantage of that momentary distraction he had over Merc.
Absolutely. A fantastic professional wrestler that Mr. Wobble is, but Merc trained at the Wrestle One Dojo in Japan.
Notice a very smart move there, grinding his knuckles into the thigh bone to get those arms to open up for that butterfly lock he's got on now.
Absolutely. You'll love to see this out of your professional wrestling action. The technical stylings of Merc cannot go understated. We talked about that training at the Wrestle One Dojo. Trained in a whole myriad of styles here, James.
Indeed, he also went down to Arena Mexico and trained in the CMLL dojo program under names like Ultimo Guerrero. You know, that had to be a great learning experience for Merc, and he's got to try to put that to work in this contest against Mr. Wobble.
Yeah, but he's going to be struggling if he has to eat maneuvers such as that one now. Mr. Wobble off the ropes, drop down, leapfrog is Merc. Up to the middle rope goes Mr. Wobble, chop to the chest.
And a little bit of a wobble there on those ropes, but it looks like he's got things back where he wants it.
He's got to try to find his balance here, and he does to the top rope, Mr. Wobble.
And a wave to the fans before he does it. Wobble is feeling himself now.
Absolutely. Splash right in the corner. Wobble now out of the corner once again. Hip attack. Taking that side headlock. It's a Bulldog beatdown tonight.
A little Bulldog for the Healdton Bulldogs.
This crowd is fired up for Mr. Wobble, and now Merc sent to the outside.
But it looks like Wobble still has something in mind. Keep your eyes on Wobble.
What's going to happen here, Mr. Wobble? And Derrick James, one of the loyalists of the Merc's regime, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Don't turn around, Wobble.
Loyalty comes at a cost for Merc there.
That cost might be your matchup, and now Mr. Wobble heading to the top rope. This can only be dangerous here, James.
Wobble taken to the skies.
Colliding directly with Derrick James.
Air Wobble is successfully cleared for takeoff.
The Healdton Municipal Airport's going crazy for that one there, James. And now Merc. Oh, my! Swinging neck breaker off the rope hang.
just draping Wobble out to dry there before hitting that neck breaker.
Going for the cover here. Only a count of 2, and you notice how Merc had all of the weight on the shoulders of Mr. Wobble. There is not a better position he could have been in for that cover. It just wasn't enough.
Now just raining blows down on Wobble here. Merc beginning to lose his cool.
Well, we're starting to see these frustrations build, as you mentioned here, James, and that's sometimes where Merc starts to slip up, get inside his own head a little bit. Oh, my!
Just firing his body like a missile.
A 2 count there, and I got to tell you, I can't get over the pinpoint accuracy that Merc had on that drop kick directly in the back of the neck of Mr. Wobble.
Square between the shoulder blades with your throat draped across the rope. You know that momentarily cut off the air or blood flow for Wobble, and that's going to be playing a huge factor in this match going forward.
This crowd is hot for Wobble here tonight, and this is not music to Merc's ears whatsoever. It's only enraging him, James.
Have you ever bore witness to a public shunning, Stuart?
Well, every single time that Merc's in the building, he tries to start one. The Healdton Bulldogs are not feeling it here tonight. Oh, massive headbutt to from Mr. Wobble to Merc, now kick to the knee. Did you hear the crack on that one, James?
Mr. Wobble set off with his head.
From the front and the back, the cover. And only a 2 count. This match rolls on here.
Very, very close. These two are giving it all they've got.
It does not get better than this. What a way to start off Texoma Pro Wrestling. Wobble, he has him now. Go over the ripcord, but the boot directly to the skull of Wobble. Now, he's got it locked in. The crossface, the arm trap crossface.
Look, and he's going for that other arm. He's got it cinched behind him. There's no option for Merc to get to the ropes here.
There is nowhere for Merc to go. What is Derrick James doing? This is... Well, this is absolutely egregious. This beatdown between Derrick James and Merc, the regime is taking down Mr. Wobble, dismantling him piece by piece. Diamond Jim James Southern has left the broadcast booth. There is an obvious message being sent right now from the regime to every other member of the Texoma Pro locker room. Oh my gosh. Absolutely detestable actions here from the regime. Absolutely unnecessary. And this crowd not too sure what to make of the Mercist beliefs here of Merc and Derrick James. Meanwhile, Mr. Wobble may need some help. At the end of the day, though, Mr. Wobble makes his way to the pay window. And what a way to start off Texoma Pro Wrestling Bulldog Beatdown. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fantastic card on deck for you all tonight. In our main event, Rook Tyler, who has been on a rise here in Texoma Pro Wrestling for the better part of a year, a DFW All-Pro graduate, an Oklahoma native, now getting his first opportunity at Championship Gold, as tonight it is Rook Tyler taking on the Texoma Pro Oklahoma and Texoma Pro Texas champion. 2 championships, 1 night, 1 match, and it's all on the line. Rook Tyler takes on the champions Montego Sika. I cannot wait for that one. But ladies and gentlemen, let's toss this back down to Diamond Jim James Southern.
Well, how about that to start
folks. Mr. Wobble getting the win, not exactly how he would like to do it. But are you guys ready to keep the action rolling? All right, the following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Well, folks, the cheer captain Malik Mayfield making his way down to ringside. No stranger to competition here in Oklahoma, but his first time in Healdton for some fantastic professional wrestling action. He's going to be taking on someone who is very familiar with Oklahoma and very familiar with the cheer captain. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the savior of the world makes his way down to ringside. This man, no savior by any definition which I would define. Nevertheless, the Gatekeeper has come here tonight with one mission. The Gatekeeper always walks in to Texoma Pro Wrestling with an agenda. And what is on that agenda for today? I can only imagine it is something devastating, something devious, and something that probably will not end well for Malik Mayfield if the Gatekeeper has his way. Diamond Jim James Southern back on the broadcast with me. And James, I have to tell you, the way that this building fell silent, the eerie feeling that has come all over the Healdton Armory, it's palpable. You can feel it, James.
There was an energy of joy and excitement, and all of a sudden just pure confusion, but no confusion on the part of the Gatekeeper starting off hot.
Yeah, like I said, this man walked in with an agenda. This man walked in with a motivation unlike any other. And now, Malik Mayfield and the Gatekeeper going one-on-one in Healdton, Oklahoma. Now, reversal of the Irish whip. The Gatekeeper, massive knee strike to the chest.
A huge chop lighting up Malik Mayfield's chest there.
That cannot feel good no matter the circumstances here, James, but the heavy hands of the Gatekeeper, ooh, on full display.
Heavy shots to the chest are nothing to be messed with. We're getting a reminder of that tonight from these two trading heavy blows there.
And we're seeing a consistent back and forth between these two men. Anything you can do, I can do better here, James. Now, look at that. That includes knee strikes. Malik Mayfield going for the waistlock from behind. Ripcord into the clothesline.
And I want to point out on that knee, it looks like Malik almost caught him underneath the shoulder, driving the Gatekeeper's own shoulder into his head.
Absolutely fantastic point to make there, James. The split leg drop. Good God almighty, got me all flustered over here. What a maneuver that was, James.
I think if I attempted that, I would be stuck for weeks. The athleticism of Malik Mayfield knows no bounds, but neither does the viciousness of the Gatekeeper.
Absolutely. We're talking brutality to the highest caliber, unlike anything other that Healdton, Oklahoma has ever seen, James. I don't believe I've ever seen anything such as this before. The Gatekeeper now choking the life out of Malik Mayfield. Referee MJ Bell trying to do the best that he can.
Trying to maintain order in this contest, but the Gatekeeper is a hard man to keep control of. He is in there to do his own thing and execute his goals and his opponents.
Absolutely. Now the Gatekeeper stalking his prey, and I want to point out the last time, look at that, good God.
driving the knee through the skull
The
of
cover.
Mayfield almost.
Hooking the inner leg there. You have to wonder what the circumstances might have been like if you hooked the outer leg going for that pinning attempt. A lot of confidence in the eye and in the mind and body of the Gatekeeper. In fact, I want to take you back to September, Durant, Oklahoma. The last time these two men shared a ring was in that 4-man ladder match for the opportunity at the Texoma Pro Texas Championship.
And what a contest that was. Of course, Malik Mayfield walking away with the contract and the title opportunity. You know Gatekeeper has got to hold a grudge from that a little bit at least, and he's bringing that grudge, that chip on his shoulder, if you will, into this contest.
Well, there's a constant proving grounds mentality here in the Texoma Pro Wrestling locker room, and I'm sure that you've seen that multiple times, whether it be through our unified Texoma Pro World Champion Shane Taylor or these two men in the ring. Everyone is constantly trying to outdo each other, trying to prove that they have what it takes to maintain their status here in Texoma Pro Wrestling. And that does not go beyond that 4-man ladder match. It's right here in Healdton, Oklahoma. Malik Mayfield now up and over to the outside. Big step-up kick using the rope assist. Good God almighty, these two men are just throwing each other's body weight around. Gatekeeper to the top, and the leg drop.
That might have just taken Malik's head off there.
The cover now.
He started to hook both legs there. He might have had him if he had it.
Potentially so. Nevertheless, the Gatekeeper has a lot more that he has to do if he wants to put Malik Mayfield away. But you got to remember here, James, it only takes one maneuver and it only takes 3 seconds to end a matchup.
Without a doubt, we've seen these kind of rallies from both competitors, really. You never know when that big move is going to land and when this contest will be over.
Gatekeeper now trying to dismantle Malik Mayfield. Now heading to the outside of the ring. You can only imagine that bad things are in store for Malik Mayfield when the Gatekeeper heads to the outside. Oh, now Irish whip. Oh, whip directly into those steel barricades.
Those barricades have no give. Solid steel bars.
And these fans in the front row are getting their money's worth right now as the Gatekeeper up close and personal right now with Malik Mayfield. Look at the power on the Gatekeeper. It is otherworldly.
And calmly walking away.
Crushing the back around the turnbuckle post of Malik Mayfield. Absolute brutality here, James.
The game plan has been laid by the Gatekeeper. That back the target.
Oh, right. Face first into the steel steps.
Steps, Malik, steps.
Oh, now the Gatekeeper from the bottom rope. He was going for that curb stomp, but it looks like he's done more damage to himself here, James.
Damage to that knee as they're making their way right over in front of us here.
Malik Mayfield, this is his opportunity. This is what it's all about here in Texoma Pro, James. Look at that. Catches him. And he's locked it in the crossface. He calls that the bow and arrow.
What a great maneuver there. Coming in, surprising his opponent, landing on his back. Almost a gator roll-like maneuver to disorient him. Now locking in the submission. What masterful work there by Malik Mayfield.
And he wasn't expecting that. Just like this, the cover, only a 2 count. And he's back into the bow and arrow hold here, James. What an opportunity. It's all on the line here tonight.
These two are truly giving it their all in this one.
But it's going to keep going until one man cannot fight any longer. But as far as I see right now, between these two competitors, only one of them is truly a man. I don't really know what the other individual in the corner is. I mean, that is an otherworldly being we're talking about, James.
Without a doubt, claiming to dwell in the underground, wherever that may be, whether it's the streets amongst us or some otherworldly dimension where Malik Mayfield might be going after a leg drop like that, but only a 2 count.
Potentially so, that 2 count. And before that 2 count there, James, the Gatekeeper was laughing maniacally. He finds this funny. He's entertaining himself in that ring through the pain, through the damage that he has brought to Malik Mayfield thus far. It's absolutely sickening and despicable.
This is what the Gatekeeper finds joy in. He finds joy and in pleasure in punishment and inflicting pain on his opponents, and that's exactly what he came to Healdton to do to Malik Mayfield.
Absolutely. Malik Mayfield now, what's he doing here? The electric chair positioning. Oh my gosh, the power bomb. This entire building just shook.
There are bricks missing out of the wall at the Healdton Armory, folks. They are being blown out by these two.
Destroying the structural integrity of the Healdton Armory are Malik Mayfield and the Gatekeeper.
At a 5 count now, halfway to the standing 10 count.
What a matchup it has been thus far, but you do not want to fight a war this long and come out on the losing end, James.
I'm surprised both men didn't just stay down. We're surprised if we wouldn't have a draw on our hands eventually.
Close line there from Malik Mayfield. Spinning back elbow there, James.
And that's what Malik doesn't want, and that's why he's trying to secure a win here.
Absolutely.
He didn't get all of that drop kick, but he still sent Gatekeeper reeling to the corner there.
Not all of it, but he got enough. The cartwheel. Look at the athleticism of Malik Mayfield.
He didn't miss that time. That elbow pinpoint accurate in the corner, laying all that weight into it.
But you have to know what he's setting up for here. We've seen it a multitude of times in the past here, but it's cost him. Is this the moment for Malik Mayfield?
Malik's going up. What does he have in mind here?
Wait a minute. This is not what I was expecting, James. The moonsault landing on his feet.
Oh, but he jammed his knee up here. Watch out.
And the spear from the Gatekeeper. That's gotta be it. What a moment for the Gatekeeper. What an absolute war that these two men have just gone through. It may not be the result that this crowd was looking for, but at the end of the day, the Gatekeeper will be collecting the checks and saving this world. Ladies and gentlemen, referee MJ Bell is helping Malik Mayfield to the back. Meanwhile, the Gatekeeper has proclaimed Healdton his home. And the people of Healdton, Oklahoma are being saved courtesy of the Gatekeeper tonight. I'm very excited to see what lies in the future for the savior of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, for the first time in over 10 years, we are going to be seeing the in-ring competition of the returning Skids. Making his Texoma Pro debut and his return to professional wrestling on tonight's event in Healdton, Oklahoma, Skids is going to be taking on none other than a man that we saw earlier on in the evening, Derrick James.
Take this time to make sure that you have Texoma Pro Wrestling liked on Facebook so you can stay up to date with all of our upcoming events, whether they be here in Oklahoma or back in our home base in Sherman, Texas. Make sure you come out to a show. We love seeing you here, but we'd love to see you at more future Texoma Pro shows. Are you guys ready to keep things moving? We've got another singles contest for you. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Skids.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Texoma Pro Wrestling, and for the first time in over a decade, Skids is gracing a professional wrestling ring. This is a huge moment. I was speaking to Skids in the back. He's a little bit nervous, that he's a little bit on edge, but you have to understand that anyone would be stepping into a ring for the first time in that long. I mean, it's an incredible feat. I cannot wait to see this matchup. Well, folks, Derrick James, he played a heavy hand in our opening contest of the evening alongside Merc, actually resulting in the disqualification loss for his leader of the Merc's regime. I guess that victories truly do not mean as much as Merc believes they do if his own loyalists are going to be targeting his matches, getting involved in his matches. Nevertheless, he saw to it that Mr. Wobble was incredibly disrespectful. He talked about dissonance, we talked about disrespect, and tonight, Merc accompanies Derrick James to take on a man who is wrestling in his very first matchup in over 10 years. I have Diamond Jim James Souther back by my side. James, what do you think is going through the mind of Skids as he competes in the Texoma Pro Wrestling ring for the first time, in a wrestling ring for the first time in 10 years?
He's got to be nervous. He's got to feel those butterflies. It's something you never forget, but you spend 10 years away from professional wrestling. You know that ring rust has got to be setting in.
Absolutely. Trained by none other than former FCW standout Brandon Groom. Skids knows a lot about this ring, and he definitely has the experience advantage over the defiant Derrick James just through the age experience himself, James.
That going to be a huge advantage. Of course, you mentioned that teaching pedigree coming from Brandon Groom, who spent time around some phenomenal wrestling minds, one of the best minds in the area to learn from. Now he's going to have to put that knowledge to work against another graduate of Brandon Groom's in defiant Derrick James.
Absolutely. Defiant Derrick James began training in this great sport at just the age of 14 years old. Now 6 years down the line, he has held championships all across Oklahoma, Texas, and everywhere else that you could possibly imagine. FCW standout Brandon Groom is pulling out phenomenal talent everywhere that he goes, but I gotta tell you, Derrick James and Skids, with them sharing the same training background, you have to imagine they've been taught the same tricks of the trade over time.
You would have to think it's really an evenly matched contest here. That's why it's so interesting to see.
Shoulder block there from Derrick James.
Derrick James showing that he's got the experience in the ring. He's spent that 10 years that Skids has been away. It's basically been Derrick James's entire career.
Absolutely. The very first time that these two men have stepped in the ring together. Skids made his professional wrestling debut in 2005. Now returning to the ring. Oh!
Now being shunned.
There's a shunning going on here in Healdton, Oklahoma. Derrick James now. Oh, look at that big elbow to the face of Derrick James, and Skids. He's trying to build some momentum here, James.
He's got Derrick James reeling now. Let's see what he's got in mind.
Oh, look at that. Skids trying to create some separation in Derrick James.
He's giving it to him all right, but he's closing the distance quick.
Skids now out of the corner. Look at that. Strike directly into the corner. What is Skids doing here now, James?
Skids is going up. He's got something high risk in mind.
High risk, high reward. They call it the high rent district for a reason. Cross body taking down Derrick James, and only a 2 count there, says referee MJ Bell. You notice Merc, I mean, he came out here, he's taking a seat in this matchup. Now ducking the clothesline.
Ooh, big old forearm there. Skids had something in mind. Derrick James cut him off. Now going back back to the back.
What role do you believe that Merc is playing at ringside right now? Is he serving more of a motivator, a coach for Derrick James? What are your thoughts?
Right now, Derrick James has dominated most of this match, but you can see Merc's face now a little bit confused, a little bit scared perhaps for his loyalist.
Potentially so. Skids just hit a gnarly DDT, and now...
Keep your eyes on Merc, though.
Hey, look, Merc is now in the ring. And now Merc with a steel folding chair. I mean, this is the second time that we've seen this on the evening. This is absolutely egregious. Somebody ring the damn bell. This is absolute pandemonium in Texoma Pro Wrestling. You cannot go around winning or losing matches in this style. And now Mr. Wobble making the run in. This crowd is going crazy tonight. And Merc and Derrick James are killing any momentum that Mr. Wobble was just building. He thought he was going to come in here and save the day. At the end of the day, though, and Derrick James still continuing to put the hurt in on Skids. Who can stop this? The Merxist regime is running roughshod over Texoma Pro Wrestling. Someone has to put an end to this. Derrick James, they're putting the steel chair around the neck of Skids. Merc now. Don't do this. He just made his return, damn it, no! And now, oh my God, short sleeve Sampson is in the building. And he has a bone to pick with Merc and Derrick James. I am at a complete loss of words. The Merxist regime has just been run off by short sleeve Sampson, Mr. Wobble, and Skids. What does this mean? ladies and gentlemen, it is midget time all the time tonight in Healdton, Oklahoma. And it's been announced, and I'm hearing it in the headset at the moment, Short Sleeve Sampson and Mr. Wobble are going to team together once again, and they are going to be taking on Merc and Derrick James. The Mercist regime will be in action later on tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take this time to cut to commercial because we have a lot more action coming to you very soon. This is the Velvet Voice Walker Stewart, and join us very, very soon for our next matchup. I can't wait for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our commercial break, and tonight we are going to see for the first time ever Morrison make his Texoma Pro Wrestling debut. And not only is it his debut, ladies and gentlemen, he is going one-on-one with the unified Texoma Pro World Heavyweight Champion. Morrison, he's been known under many names. He has been a brawler. He is a grappler. He has been a crippler at points. But tonight, Morrison is stepping one-on-one to Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor has referred to Morrison as being nothing more than a victim. Not a brawler, a grappler, or a crippler. A victim. And that is what Shane Taylor has seen all of his competition to be as of recent. Ladies and gentlemen, the Velvet Voice Walker Stewart back on the call here live in Texoma Pro Wrestling. Morrison's happy to be here, and I'm excited to call this matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, when the tones of Shane Taylor hit the ring and fill the venue of the Healdton Armory, you know that it only spells trouble for whoever stands toe-to-toe and across the ring from this man right here, Shane Taylor. He is the baddest of all time, the CEO of Shane Taylor Promotions. You might have seen him very recently make his return to Ring of Honor at ROH's latest pay-per-view in Arlington, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not get bigger. There is no bigger feeling of fight than when Shane Taylor steps in to a Texoma Pro Wrestling ring, and he is going one-on-one against a debuting Morrison tonight. Shane Taylor, the current unified Texoma Pro World Heavyweight Champion, branded Outlaw Heavyweight Champion. This man is a belt bully, a collector of championships. And he holds the most coveted prize in North Texas wrestling, the Texoma Pro Wrestling Unified World Heavyweight Championship. He has notable championship defenses against the likes of the ungodly heathen Brick Savage, against the natural Matt Taven, and against a multitude of other competitors. This man has run roughshod over Texoma Pro Wrestling, has made the life of Texoma Pro Wrestling owner and promoter Robert Langdon a living hell. But tonight, it is all on the line for Morrison. Ladies and gentlemen, a big fight feel indeed here tonight in Healdton, Oklahoma. This could be a main event any day of the week. The baddest of all time, Shane Taylor defending the Unified Texoma Pro World Heavyweight Championship against the debuting Morrison. Tonight is the night where it all comes to fruition. Meanwhile, this is just all part of the plan for Shane Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Diamond Jim James Southern by my side, and James, I know you saw the look in the eye of Shane Taylor tonight. He's not happy to be in Healdton, Oklahoma, and he's surely not happy to be fed this quote-unquote lamb of the slaughter known as Morrison in the ring.
Shane Taylor came to Healdton to defend that Red River Texoma Unified Heavyweight Championship, and he is doing it against one of the best in Oklahoma, Brawler Morrison. You want to talk about very similar styles, very similar builds, very similar power levels here, even though we see Shane Taylor getting the better of it here at the start. Don't let that fool you. Brawler Morrison is a very powerful man.
Not only is there that power, but he's also a hell of a grappler, and you've noticed more of a technical styling to Morrison's professional game recently. He is a tactician in that ring, and that tactical style is coming into play tonight, but this is not something that I would want to do if I was Morrison.
Look at Shane Taylor. He is not amused by Morrison's antics here.
Shane Taylor, look at that drop toe hold. Morrison has taken down Shane Taylor.
Morrison is feeling himself tonight, but Shane T is having none of it, boy.
Well, he might be feeling something on the way to a hospital, a gurney potentially. He might be feeling,
Knocking Morrison senseless. You see MJ Bell there checking for consciousness.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why you do not want to attempt to embarrass the baddest of all time. You'll only get knocked flat off your feet. And James, this is something that you and I have both come to witness and see as almost compulsory of Shane Taylor. This is native for him. This is what he knows how to do in the ring. It's putting the beat in on Morrison.
What you see before you is a self-built machine of destruction in that ring. Nobody brings the intensity, nobody brings the fire like Shane Taylor. I'll give Brawler Morrison a lot of credit here, though. He's taken some heavy shots from Shane Taylor, and he's still fighting back, at least for the moment.
Well, there's a reason they call this man the fight god, but Morrison is fighting against something beyond his understanding tonight. Shane Taylor has put down every single beast which Robert Langdon has thrown in front of him.
And it's only made him stronger. It's like Morrison's not only facing Shane Taylor tonight, it's like he's facing the will of all the challengers who have come before him that have been struck down, just like the chest of Brawler Morrison. He's a brawler, a technician, whatever you want to call him. Morrison is a dangerous, dangerous man.
I've spoke about it briefly before you joined me at the booth here tonight, but I'll reiterate, Shane Taylor has not only defeated the likes of Brick Savage and Matt Taven, but also Fulton, former Impact Wrestling and NXT superstar. He's defeated a multitude of competitors during his reign as Unified Texoma champion. Now the cover. And only a 2 count, but this match rolls on further.
Shane Taylor says bring him tall, bring him small, he'll fight them all, and they'll all be laying at the feet of the Texoma World Heavyweight Champion.
And yet, it's interesting to note that Shane Taylor, I mean, he's now doing a lot of things in Ring of Honor. He's competing on that massive stage which Ring of Honor provides in the year of 2023. That being said, oh no, Shane Taylor, oh!
Right across the jawline of Brawler Morrison.
That being said, though, Shane Taylor is facing off against the highest caliber of competition that you will see in professional wrestling. That has to have upped his game in some variety here, James.
It has to, but it's just good old-fashioned tactics like that, choking Morrison out on the rail. That is how Shane Taylor became champion, and that's how Shane Taylor plans on staying Texoma heavyweight champion.
Look at this, Morrison, he was battling back there for a brief moment. It's matches like this that create moments in careers and that skyrocket people to a higher level. This is Morrison's opportunity here tonight, James.
Without a doubt, this has got to be one of the biggest shots Morrison has ever had, taking on a star like Shane Taylor, challenging for the Texoma World Heavyweight Championship. Talk about a massive platform to make his impact.
Look at that.
Speaking of huge impacts.
It's not often that we see people go strike for strike with Shane Taylor, but Morrison is doing a hell of a job right now.
And Shane Taylor is retreating. How often do we see Shane Taylor running away from his opponents?
It is rare, James. You and I can both attest to that one.
Heavy forearm strikes here, but still not enough to take the big man off his feet.
Not at all. That jawbreaker. Wait, what is this? Shane Taylor lifted him up. Oh!
Using that singlet to his advantage, pulling Morrison back, hitting him with the suplex, hooking the leg, only a 2 count. But that is the kind of huge offense that Shane Taylor needs to keep hitting against Morrison.
This match rolls on. Shane Taylor is looking, what does he have to do to put Morrison away here tonight? And I have to commend this. The will of Morrison is inspiring, but at a certain point you have to realize who you're dealing with, James. Wait a minute. Morrison is battling back here. He has an opportunity at the Texoma Pro Championship.
Unleashing a flurry of blows to Shane T. Oh!
Belly to belly suplex. This is it. Go for the cover here, Morrison. No!
He almost had him with that. What an impressive showing of strength. We talked about it earlier in this contest.
You want to talk about strength?
Huge Samoan drop by Morrison.
Not going for the cover there. That might be a move that costs him. Kick right to the jaw of Shane Taylor, but that jaw's not made of glass to cover now.
I believe the Healdton Bulldogs just scored 3 points on that field goal attempt there, Walker.
The fight god yet to score the victory, though, and that's where the focus lies here tonight.
Looks like he might have a knee of his own for Shane.
Well, but Shane Taylor had that one scouted here, James.
You've got to be a little quicker than that when you're trying to hit a guy with his own move.
Oh, my!
He knocked Morrison stiff there for a moment.
Patented knee strike from Shane Taylor. And he could be looking for that Marcus Garvey driver here, James. The package pile driver, here it is. Marcus Garvey driver, the cover, hook in the inner leg. And that's it. A hard-fought battle, a war of attrition, a hell of a victory for Shane Taylor. Well on his way to what could become the pinnacle of his career. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, the pinnacle is only influenced by the stage. And Shane Taylor is not anywhere close to the tail end of his career whatsoever. Shane Taylor is a champion made, a champion born, and a champion bred. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to take the time to commend Morrison for his efforts here tonight. He couldn't get the job done at the end, but the facts are the facts. When you go to war, when you put the beat down as much as Morrison did on Shane Taylor, that speaks volumes. And ladies and gentlemen, I surely hope that is not the last time we see Morrison here in Texoma Pro Wrestling.
So you can stay up to date with that. Rock coming to Texoma Pro, one of Shane Taylor's trainers, now his next opponent. But we saw earlier tonight, things didn't necessarily go the regime's way, and they ended up in a tag team match. So are you guys ready to see that tag team match? Let's get it underway. The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting geared up for tag team competition as tonight in our semi-main event of the evening, it is Merc and Derrick James going to war to settle the score against Mr. Wobble and Short Sleeve Sampson. The Merxis regime on full display here tonight in Healdton, Oklahoma. Merc has some words for the fans here in Healdton. And I can only imagine those words are not of the positive variety. Merc and Derrick James, two high-class, two world-class competitors. Derrick James, I've seen him alongside the tenets of Merxism. I've seen him without the tenets of Merxism, and I can easily attest to the fact that Merxism has truly only made Derrick James a better professional wrestler as soon as he started associating himself with the likes of the leader of this Merxist regime in Merc. Derrick James has only skyrocketed up every single ranking system he has ever been a part of. Just a few short weeks ago, D'Lo Brown accused me of, quote-unquote, drinking the Kool-Aid when it comes to the Merxist regime. But the facts are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Derrick James and Merc are on one hell of a streak. But tonight, can they get the job done when they go 2-on-2 against Short Sleeve Sampson and Mr. Wobble? And this crowd here tonight in Healdton, Oklahoma is incredibly excited to see Mr. Wobble in attendance. It's fantastic, I understand. Mr. Wobble is having a hell of a time here tonight, as are the rest of the crowd here in Healdton, Oklahoma. But two individuals that are not excited about this matchup, that are not anticipating what awaits us here in Healdton, Derrick, James, and Merc. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an absolute onslaught. And Mr. Wobble and short sleeve Sampson, these two men have something to say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a message sent and received between the team of short sleeve Sampson and Wobble and the Mercsist regime. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Velvet Voice Walker Stewart, joined back by Diamond Jim, James Southard. And James, you have just experienced, you have just witnessed what I have as well. What are your thoughts heading into this bombastic semi-main event in Healdton?
This crowd is absolutely on fire for this one. They are ready to see the Mercsist regime get their comeuppance from the team of Short Sleeve and Wobble. We have seen great things in the past from Short Sleeve and Wobble as a tag team. This is our first time getting a look at the Mercsist regime in tag team action here in Texoma. We'll have to see how they do. Derrick James and Mr. Wobble starting things off.
Absolutely. Well, I have it on good authority that while both of these men, and Merc and Derrick James, have not had much tag team experience together, they're incredibly competent tag team professional wrestlers of their own, having held multiple tag team championships between the two of them. Some of which even being here in Oklahoma. Mr. Wobble now, side headlock takedown.
Beautifully executed, now turning around so he could show the disrespect. The noogie to the head of Derrick James shown off to Merc.
And it's things like this that get underneath the skin of Merc. The dissonance here in professional wrestling.
Wobble having a little fun, trying to talk some trash. Merc sees it as disrespect, not only towards himself, but he says towards pro wrestling as a whole. And Mr. Wobble putting his pro wrestling knowledge on display there, tying up Derrick James.
And look at this, he has him tied 10 ways to Sunday. Meanwhile, Merc was distracting referee MJ Bell back into the side headlock. And now the tag has been made. Short sleeve Sampson is legal.
We're gonna have to see if Derrick James can hold his own against Texoma's smallest but mightiest competitor in short sleeve Sampson.
Well, you know what Sampson likes to say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. The larger competitor in Merc is getting into this contest now. He is your legal man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the war that we have been waiting for.
Look at Merc coming in over the top rope, trying to show off.
Well, now this is absolutely despicable.
The disrespect from Merc. Short sleeve Sampson is a multi-decade accomplished competitor. He has always shown his size is sometimes to his advantage in contests like this, and that's what he's going to have to do against the taking lightly we're seeing from Merc here.
Short sleeve Sampson has held championships all across the country. A world-traveled individual. Oh my God!
And I think he's trying to make contact at Tune In Tokyo. Trying to make some international contact there. Headbutt right to the midsection there, knocking the wind out of Merc.
And Derrick James is completely enraged by what he's seeing here right now.
Oh, what is this?
Oh my!
Noggin knocker, they're coming together.
A meeting of the minds here in Healdton. Sampson has just put the beat down and taken out the entire Merxis regime.
The regime is down, and here comes Sampson.
What's gonna happen here? Lope Suicida. And now, Derrick James and Merc.
Look at this smart teamwork here by Merc and Derrick. It is a game of human chess, and they have the referee exactly where they want him.
And senior official MJ Bell had his back turned. Merc and Derrick James, they managed to take the advantage there.
MJ Bell can't keep his eyes on all four competitors at the same time.
These are the dangers of tag team professional wrestling. It's bound to happen one way or another. And now Merc with the camel clutch applied. You see the way that it bends, the curvature of the spine on short sleeve Sampson.
The human spine is not built to bend that way, Walker.
But bend it does in short sleeve. Trying his hardest. Oh my. He's trying to make it to that rope there. The tag has been made now, and Derrick James, your legal competitor,
stopped just short of the ropes there. Beautiful, beautiful ring generalship by the leader of the Merxist regime. He's proven he's a general out there. He's commanding the battle.
And James, I got to tell you, one of the things that I mentioned earlier on the broadcast is the fact that Of course, ever since Derrick James has aligned with Merc, he has only improved as a professional athlete. He has learned the tenets of Mercism, and it has brought him to new heights in championship gold and risen him up every single contendership and rankings he's ever been a part of. James, there's something to be said here about Mercism and what's happening in the ring.
Whether it is the ring experience of Merc or those tenets of Mercism being brought into Derrick James's personal life, it definitely seems to be working. You can't argue with success. Look at Merc here with the 10 punches in the corner, just disrespectful. What's he got in mind here?
I'm not too certain here, James. Oh my!
Bashing Short Sleeve's head off that knee.
You have to wonder if confidence is one of the tenets of Mercism, or if that just comes with the package, but nevertheless.
It must be.
Oh, and a needless shot to Mr. Wobble on the apron, James.
Trying to take out that competition, leave the vulnerable man in the ring.
Missing the boot there, headbutt to the gut.
Vulnerable no more.
And Sampson has Merc on his shoulders. He's doing it. He's taking him for a ride.
An airplane spin into the Samoan drop.
And now the division, the separation has been created. The tag has been made. And the tag has been made in the other corner. Mr. Wobble and Derrick James going to war
and
right now.
The roof is about to blow off this place, Stuart. They love them some Wobble.
And how could you not? The leader, the creator of the Wobble line dance.
Derrick James trying to cover up there just a little bit and soften some of the blows.
Oh, and a headbutt. Merc has been completely isolated now. Derrick James takes the advantage off the momentary distraction.
Now things have turned around. Merc is the one off the apron. Derrick James trying to hold things together for his team.
Only a 1 count there, says referee MJ Bell.
He has been on top of it all night with these calls.
And Merc, he's calling shots from over in the corner. The tag's been made. Merc is your legal man.
Had Derrick James bring him to him over in that cravat. Now a series of elbow drops.
A beautiful tag team competition now. 2 count there. Short sleeve Sampson.
Diving over the pile to break up the pin. Now paying the price for interfering. Derrick James smartly taking advantage of the opportunity to do some more damage to Wobble. Dropping the knee and rolling back out.
Well, you said it yourself, James. It is smart. The cover now. Only a 2 count. It is smart. It is academic. But one of the things professional wrestling is severely lacking in at the moment is morality. And Derrick James and Merc are part of the problem. What a single leg drop kick to Wobble.
When morality starts winning you the contest, Stuart, that's when the regime will start worrying about it. Until then, it does you no good to be the better, the man standing on higher ground. That does you no good. You've got to fight and you've got to win.
This is, of course, one of the core tenets of Mercism.
You see Merc there in the corner explaining those tenets. Perhaps he might even convert our cameraman, Brad Carney. I hope not. We don't need anyone else in the regime.
Look at that. Northern Lights suplex. The cover being made now by Derrick James. Only a 2 count. Hook of the outer leg as well. He's got to do more damage to Wobble.
Wobble is used to taking a lot of punishment. And so you're going to have to do way more than that to keep him down in this contest.
And the tag has been made. Big boot right to the skull of Wobble. And Merc, he's had many discussions on his size. He's talked a lot about the grandeur of this ring. Oh my. Starting off with these kicks here, James. Now going for the cover, looks like. Yes, it is.
Looks like he almost knocked the air out of Wobble. That would have been a great opportunity to try to steal a win.
An opportunity it was, but at the end of the day, Wobble is still in this one. This match is far from over, James.
CMJ Bell turning around just in time to catch that clenched fist to the face. Now warning Merc about those hands.
Wobble is clawing, trying his hardest to get back to the vertical positioning here, but this is an opportunity. This is what he was looking for, James Southern.
Merc's teeth clacked together, but not enough to get that headbutt for Wobble.
Look at this. Going for the swinging neck breaker, the waist lock into the ripcord. What is this? Oh my God. It is back and forth. Double roundhouse kick.
Both men had the same idea at the exact same time, and it worked out for neither of them. Wobble stirring, though. He's at least moving on the ground. We haven't seen movement from Merc.
James, I'm in absolute shock at the series of events that we've just witnessed in this matchup.
A series of reversals from these two. Now both men trying to reach their fresher partners. Wobble towards Sampson, Merc towards James.
Count of 6 here, and Derrick James makes the tag. Short sleeve Sampson makes the tag. Two new, fresh, legal men. Oh my!
Sampson just back body dropped Derrick James.
Treating him like a featherweight. Now Irish whip reversal. Derrick James in control, leapfrog. Oh, look at the strength of Sampson.
The electric chairlift up and down, knocking Merc out of the ring to ringside here.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, James Southern. Off the ropes goes Sampson. Beautiful senton. The cover being made. And Merc back in the ring to break this one up. It is absolute chaos in Healdton, Oklahoma.
It is breaking down. We've got both members just going at it. We've got all 4 men in the ring. What does the regime have in mind here? Little do-si-do, and down they go.
Mr. Wobble picking up Sampson and utilizing his smaller compadre as a battering ram.
Have you ever been so angry you've used another human as a weapon, Walker?
I can't say that I have, at least not at the very moment. Look at this. Utilizing Sampson as a cannonball.
Wobble and James still the 2 legal competitors here.
Oh, he could be looking for that ripcord, and he hits it from Party City, USA.
And what's he calling for now? He's getting Sampson in position. It's worm time, Walker.
That ain't any worm, James Southern. That worm is only 1 inch long.
Who? And a big splash from Short Sleeve to secure the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup here tonight. Derrick James and Merc are looking worse for wear. At the end of the day, Short Sleeve Sampson and Mr. Wobble walk out your victors. A tough night at the office for the leader of the Mercsist regime and all of his tenants. According to Merc, the dissidents are in full effect in Healdton, but tonight, Short Sleeve Sampson and Mr. Wobble walk out of here your winners. And ladies and gentlemen, it's only a matter of time before we start seeing Short Sleeve Sampson and Mr. Wobble challenging for Tag Team Championship Gold. They are 2-0 as a tag team here in Texoma Pro Wrestling. And I think it's time that someone in the board of directors office for Texoma Pro Wrestling takes note very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next in our main event of the evening, we will see the aforementioned championship matchup as Rook Tyler takes on Montego Sika for the Texoma Pro Texas and Texoma Pro Oklahoma championships. I cannot wait for that one. Referee MJ Bell will be officiating that matchup. Folks, there is a lot on the line as the gold comes out at night in Healdton, Oklahoma.
Championship match for you tonight. Y'all gotta get louder than that because it's main event time. Make some
noise! Well, folks, you heard Diamond Jim, and I think it's time for us to bang some heads. Texoma Pro Texas and Oklahoma championship action is coming to you live from Healdton, Oklahoma. I am the Velvet Voice Walker Stewart, joined by none other soon enough, Diamond Jim James Southern, as the rock star Rook Tyler, one of the highest rising stars, one of the fastest rising stars in this entire sport, is made his way to Healdton for a fantastic matchup, one that is highly anticipated. These two men have gone to war before, Rook Tyler and Montego Sika, but it has never mattered as much as it does right now, because tonight the championship is on the line from the other side of the tracks. He's brought both straps. The gold is in Healdton. Montego Sika defending the Texas and Oklahoma championships against Rook Tyler. Absolutely no acknowledgement. Oh my. Absolute disrespect from Montego Sika on the side of that fan. Ladies and gentlemen, that Texas championship, that Oklahoma championship, they are symbols of what matters most in this great sport. And that is the professional wrestling gold in this ring to be decided. Let's go ahead and take it back down to Diamond Jim James Southern.
Introducing first the challenger, standing to my right. He hails from Detroit Rock City. This is Bulldog. And his opponent standing to my left, he is the ring. And the Texoma Texas and Oklahoma champion. He goes from the other side of the tracks. He is the Sika, the OG,
There you see it in the hands of referee MJ Bell. What matters most to Montego Sika more than life itself, the Texas and Oklahoma championships. Ladies and gentlemen, Diamond Jim James Southern joining me once again in the broadcast booth.
You'll get it one day, Stuart.
Hey, one day, James, our main event of the evening. I talked about earlier a big fight feel when Shane Taylor made his way down to ringside, but the look in the eyes of Montego Sika blasting directly past our cameraman, ripping up the sign of a fan in this ring that had made that for Montego Sika. What do you think is going through the mind of the champion?
Montego Sika is confident. He is confident he doesn't need the people. He didn't have the people behind him when he won the Oklahoma or the Texas championships, and he doesn't feel like he needs them now. Cheer for him if you want. He doesn't care. He is going to do one thing, retain that championship, and walk through whoever he's standing across the ring from.
Then he has walked through a multitude of competitors. Now this collar and elbow tie up here, waist lock now, standing position for Montego Sika. And look at the height.
Just dumping Rook Tyler down there out of the air.
The height and the strength that Montego Sika has, a strength which I happen to find to be an advantage for Rook Tyler, or I'm sorry, for Tego against Rook Tyler here tonight. Now, waist lock positioning for Rook Tyler.
He's definitely got the experience and the size on Rook Tyler. Now he's got to see if he can put those two to use and retain that title, because Rook has been on fire here in Texoma Pro as of late. Look at Montego. He's taking it easy. He's propped back on the ropes. He's having a little fun with Rook's hair.
There's a lot of confidence for Montego Sika here tonight. You want to talk about momentum? Rook Tyler, for the very first time, picked up a loss on our last event in Texoma Pro Wrestling, for the very first time losing to Aaron Sykes. What do you think has to be going through the mind of him as he is trying to rebuild momentum now in a championship matchup?
It's just that. You've got to rebuild momentum. You can't let one win or one loss define what you're going to do in that ring. Each match is a brand new match against a brand new competitor, and you've got to be ready for whatever they bring.
Beyond that, you had 6 straight months of victory here in Texoma Pro Wrestling. Absolutely phenomenal athlete and competitor in Rook Tyler. But those exact same terms, that exact same logic can be applied to Montego Sika. An incredibly even-keeled contest, 2 sides of the same coin. Rook Tyler with the basement drop. Oh, look at that.
I still think Rook's going to have a hell of a time beating that veteran edge that Montego Sika has. He's seen just about every trick. Rook managed to get him with that one, but I guarantee you most of the things Rook has in his arsenal, Montego has been there and done that.
Faced off against a multitude, now the cover. Montego has faced off against a multitude of fantastic professional athletes in his day, from badass Billy Gunn, Chavo Guerrero Jr. and the likes. The cover now, once again, only a 2 count. You see the point that I'm making there, James. James, you were there for a lot of those matches.
Nearly 15 years of in-ring experience for Montego Sika. I've been present for about 6 of those, and it has been all domination from Montego Sika. There's a reason he has both of those belts, and there's a reason that Rook Tyler is challenging him in this contest instead of the other way around.
Up and over now for Rook Tyler. Oh, sweeping the legs of Montego.
There's that veteran experience coming into play. Montego Sika knowing what Rook Tyler was going for there, catching the feet and yanking them out from under him. Now introducing him to that guardrail at ringside and up close and personal. It's Taker Wrestler home night in Healdton.
Absolutely. Oh! Chop to the chest of Rook Tyler.
Rook Tyler walking around ringside here trying to rally some support from these fans, but Montego Sika is merciless in there.
These men are brawling all around the ring tonight. They very well could make their way all the way outside this venue. There's no telling what could happen in this matchup.
The streets of Healdton are not safe as long as these two are doing battle.
Some might have to ask themselves if it's ever been safe here in Healdton with Montego Sika somewhere around one of these tracks.
Listen to that clubbing forearm across the back, taking the life out of Rook Tyler and out of these fans, seemingly.
Montego now.
Dragging Rook back out.
Draping him over the apron.
Just winding that arm back to bring it down across the chest and throat. Look, he's got some new entrance gear. Tigo's looking good. He's got Rook's jacket on, see?
And he's mocking Rook Tyler now.
Come on, you could see these two together. Come on, little air guitar from Tigo.
He doesn't look half bad in it, but that's beside the point, James. Looks like Montego Sika has been around the tracks in Detroit Rock City, but nevertheless.
Putting that in the corner with his stuff there. I guess a trophy to add to the collection case of Montego Sika.
The trophy hunter that is Montego. Now off the ropes. Big knee drop there directly across the trachea of Rook Tyler. Only a 2 count, not going to be singing any high notes anytime soon. Montego has to find a way to put Rook Tyler down for the 3 count.
Driving that knee in, now wrenching back on the neck of Rook Tyler. Look, he's spinning him around so the fans can see him. What a kind guy Montego Sika can be at times.
I don't know if I'd consider that kind in the slightest here, James Southard. Now, this crowd firing up for Rook Tyler, and Rook Tyler's feeling that energy. But the energy being depleted at the hands of the Texas and Oklahoma champion.
Healdton letting Montego Sika know what they think of him.
And Rook Tyler, he's battling back here, James.
He's firing back. Let's see what he's got in him.
The rock star's banging tonight. Oh my God!
The kid is all guts, but a clothesline will turn your guts inside out.
That kid is not all right. Oh my my lord there, James. That was intense. James, the way that Montego just stormed through Rook Tyler, that I can't get that out of my mind. Rook Tyler is going to be feeling that one for a long time.
And right back to the back, Montego Sika has a laser sight on Rook Tyler's back.
And now, collection of blows here from Rook Tyler. Once again flattened by Tigo, and Tigo knows what it's like to be Rook Tyler. He's been in this position, the plucky young upstart that the fans get behind, but at a certain point, as he's trying to teach Rook right now, the fans leave you in the dust. A super kick from Rook Tyler.
Glancing the head, but rattling Montego Sika. You see him working his way over to the corner, trying to keep his balance here.
You can only do so much when you're against the rock star. Up and over now, cut off into the strike to the skull repeatedly. 4th time's a charm. Off the apron he goes.
And Tego is down. Healdton is giving it to him, and Rook's getting ready to take to the sky.
Clear the airways, ladies and gentlemen. Don't turn around. Oh!
Tego down, Rook up, and he is fired up.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first opportunity for championship gold Rook Tyler has ever had here in Texoma Pro Wrestling. He has built 6 months worth of momentum. Will it all come to fruition tonight?
Definitely what you're wanting if you're Rook Tyler, but not if you're Montego Sika. And that foot to the side of the head is something you don't want to see either.
And now off the ropes.
Big diving forearm there.
The cover, this is it. We have a new.
So close, only a 2. I'll be honest with you, Walker, I thought Rook had it there. I was getting ready to take my headset off and make the announcement. That was 2 99/100.
I understand where you're coming from there, James. Oh, my.
Little series of strikes there, showing off the quick hands of Montego Sika.
And not only that, but the power of Tego.
Up and over.
Falcon Arrow, he did the deal in the cover, only a 2 count.
Tego's starting to rally a bit in this contest. Rook Tyler, it looks like he has used just about every ounce of energy he has in his body here.
He's got to be able to find something new, pull out all the stops if he wants to become the new Texas and Oklahoma champions. The cover off the power bomb. Dear God Almighty.
Huge power bomb there. We just saw Rook almost seal the deal, and Montego Sika just about did the same. What is one of these competitors going to have to do to each other? They're going to have to kill each other.
I hope things don't get to that point, but I wouldn't put it past Montego Sika. You've seen what he's done with that plastic bag of his.
Definitely attempted murder at least there, Walker. But what's Tego doing to referee MJ Bell in the corner here?
And now rushing out of the corner, single leg strike there from Rook Tyler.
Took too long having that conversation. You can't be getting on to the officials about how you think they're officiating.
Diving Hurricane Rana from Rook Tyler, but he's got to stay on top of Tego here. Strike to the knee.
The Rook go round succeeds. Now he's going up. The Rock Star's looking to stage dive.
He might be looking for that stage dive right now here, James. Oh my God, high ankle senton
He
bomb.
might have it right here.
The cover, this is it, a new champion. No!
So close. I don't know how you get any closer of a count than that.
It's incredibly rare that I find myself disagreeing with senior official MJ Bell.
To me, it looked like his hand made contact. It was so close, milliseconds away.
It is as close to a 3 as you can get without getting there.
Rook looks like he's going to the wheelhouse again.
It was almost successful in the past. Maybe one more shot. Oh my God! Out of midair.
Tego
The
just
clout
caught
cutter.
him.
The clout cutter. That's it. No! No! No!
We have seen Tego put away all of his competition with the clout cutter. Tonight, it was unsuccessful on Rook Tyler. What fire from Rook Tyler. What resilience from this kid. But it looks like Montego Sika's trying to snuff the flames of this hot young upstart Rook Tyler, just raining hands down, now trying to get those arms to open up.
You see the frustration building here, James, within Tego. Tego thought that should have been it. He thought it should have been over 10 minutes ago, damn it.
Tego's got the belt here, hold on.
And that's the Oklahoma Championship.
Note, if Tego gets disqualified, he retains both titles, champion's advantage. Rook Tyler has to pin or submit Montego Sika for the title to change hands.
And logically, you have to imagine that Montego Sika is considering that exact approach at the moment.
MJ Bell trying to reason with Montego here.
Well, how do you reason with someone who's from the other side of these tracks, James?
Good job by MJ Bell capturing that title, getting it out of the way.
Oh, give me a break. 1, 2, 3, that's it. A hard-fought, well-fought contest from both men's, ending in chicanery at the hands of Montego Sika. Ladies and gentlemen, Rook Tyler just gave the performance of a lifetime and came up short at the hands of a cheating, lying, manipulative champion in Montego Sika. I am in absolute shock and awe. All of the respect and all of the love to Rook Tyler, but tonight was just not his night. Still your Texoma Pro Texas and Oklahoma champion. Ladies and gentlemen, what a night of action that we have had here tonight, live at Texoma Pro Wrestling. I have seen your official MJ Bell by my side. Mr. Bell, you have had a very, very long night. Hello, Mr. Wobble. Welcome to the booth. And I got to ask, what are your thoughts on this fantastic night of action we just had?
This place. This is fantastic. He didn't wobble this time. I'm disappointed, but other than that, it's a great show. Love it.
There we go.
Thanks, Wobble. No, Walker, thanks for having me. It was a great show. I didn't know what to expect. Everybody showed up and showed out. Malik Mayfield here, one of the young up-and-coming stars here on Texoma Pro. Had a great showing tonight. Fans loved him a lot. Honestly, I can't tell if you could tell my voice is a little hoarse.
Of course.
That was 6 straight matches I refereed right there, and I'm learning that the physical part, I can do it. I feel fine cardiovascularly, but my voice is going to be shot the next 3 days.
Absolutely. Well, the Iron Man that is Mr. MJ Bell. Ladies and gentlemen, what a night of action that we have had. You can catch us January 20th live in Sherman, Texas for Texoma Pro Wrestling. Without further ado, stay tuned for more pro wrestling action.